Today we'll be covering the recent American Thoracic Society guideline for pulmonary rehabilitation for adults with chronic respiratory disease. This guideline was published August 15, 2023 in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine. The purpose of this guideline is to provide a basis for evidence-based delivery of pulmonary rehabilitation for people with chronic respiratory diseases. The Guideline Panel included 4 co-chairs and 25 voting members, 10 of which were pulmonary critical care physicians, 1 was an advanced heart failure and transplant cardiologist, 1 internist, 8 physical therapists, 2 nurses, 1 respiratory therapist, and 1 exercise physiologist, with 1 person, chronic respiratory disease, who had undergone pulmonary rehabilitation. This guideline was developed using the Grading of Recommendations Assessment, Development, and Evaluation Evidence to Decision Support Framework, also known as GRADE. This framework categorizes recommendations by the strength of recommendation, strong or conditional, as well as the certainty of evidence, high, moderate, low, and very low. Chronic respiratory diseases pose a high burden of morbidity and mortality on patients and health systems globally. In 2017 alone, an estimated 545 million people had a chronic respiratory disease, and that accounted for over 3.9 million deaths. Pulmonary rehabilitation is a comprehensive, intervention-based, and thorough patient assessment, followed by patient-tailored therapies that include, but are not limited to, exercise training, education, and behavior change designed to improve physical and psychological condition of people with chronic respiratory diseases and to promote the long-term adherence to health-enhancing behaviors. 4 components of pulmonary rehabilitation include structured and progressive, individually tailored exercise training, self-management education, patient assessment and outcomes measurement, all delivered by a multidisciplinary team of healthcare professionals. Participation in pulmonary rehabilitation reduces dyspnea, increases exercise capacity, improves health-related quality of life and emotional function, confers social support, and, for those with COPD, reduces hospital admissions and mortality risks after hospitalization. Despite its proven benefits, pulmonary rehabilitation remains underused and under-resourced. Less than 5% of people with COPD who may benefit from pulmonary rehabilitation actually receive it. So, with that background out of the way, we can go ahead and dive right into the recommendations. Recommendation number 1. For adults with stable COPD, the ATS recommends participation in pulmonary rehabilitation. This is a strong recommendation with a moderate quality of evidence. Recommendation 2. For adults with COPD, the ATS recommends participation in pulmonary rehabilitation after hospitalization for an acute exacerbation of COPD. This is a strong recommendation, moderate quality of evidence. Recommendation 3. For adults with interstitial lung diseases, ATS recommends participation in pulmonary rehabilitation. This is a strong recommendation, moderate quality of evidence. Recommendation 4. For adults with pulmonary hypertension, ATS suggests participation in pulmonary rehabilitation. This is a conditional recommendation, low quality evidence. Recommendation 5. For adults with stable chronic respiratory disease, ATS recommends offering the choice of center-based pulmonary rehabilitation or telerehabilitation. This is a strong recommendation, moderate quality of evidence. Recommendation 6. For adults with COPD, ATS suggests either supervised maintenance pulmonary rehabilitation or usual care after initial pulmonary rehabilitation. This is a conditional recommendation, low quality of evidence. So the key takeaways from this guideline: essentially, pulmonary rehabilitation is either recommended or suggested in adult patients with stable COPD, with adult patients post-hospitalization after acute exacerbation of COPD, adult patients with interstitial lung disease, such as idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis and others, and adults with pulmonary hypertension. The ideal settings, such as center-based pulmonary rehabilitation or telerehabilitation, as well as the decision of supervised maintenance pulmonary rehabilitation or usual care after initial pulmonary rehabilitation, will vary from patient to patient and should be a shared decision made between patient and provider. So there you have it. Recap of the 2023 American Thoracic Society Guidelines for Pulmonary Rehabilitation for Adults with Chronic Respiratory Disease. For more information on this guideline or to access the Clinical Practice Guideline Summary, Pocket Guide, Patient Summary, as well as a number of other great resources such as clinical calculators, trials, and more, visit us online at GuidelineCentral.com or download the Guideline Central mobile app available on iOS and Android devices. See you on the next one.